XFC 43 continues with the following quarterfinal bout in the XFC Welterweight tournament, set with 3 5-minute rounds of action. Introducing first to my right, he is fighting out of the blue corner. This striker stands at 5 feet, 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 170.5 pounds. He enters this fight with a record of 9 wins and 4 losses. And fighting out of Mesa, Arizona, he is LaRue, Cannibal, Burley.
Let's go, champ.
And his opponent to my left, fighting out of the red corner. This boxer stands at 5 feet, 11 inches tall. He weighed in at 170.5 pounds. He enters this fight with a record of 8 wins and 2 losses. And fighting out of San Luis Rios, Colorado, Mexico, he is Alex Hulk Sanchez. The referee for this bout, Herb Dean.
So the great Herb Dean presiding over this one as we move in to our next matchup here in the welterweight tournament there with Luke Burley. As you see, he'll be rocking the red trunks in this one there in the multicolor and the black. That's going to be Alex Hulk Sanchez. And this fight officially underway, set for 3 5-minute rounds here in Atlanta.
Both these men have great boxing skills. We're going to see some fireworks here out of these guys.
You know, so much has gone into this fight card here, Pat. Not only do you have great fighters here, but they're so excited to be owners of the XFC. It's kind of unprecedented waters here as it's a publicly traded company and all fighters officially now have shares. They are controlling their own destiny here.
I think it's very important that they understand how big that is to own the company that you work for. I mean, there's people that retire all the time from different corporations.
Very true.
And have a vested interest in their company. So this is a great deal.
Absolutely, and I think all these guys very, very excited about that as LaRue Burley controls there, looks for a spinning kick, is not able to land, and Sanchez looks to counter as they are kind of feeling each other out here in round number 1.
That spinning back kick, had it been a few inches the other direction, would have been directly on the liver. And that hurts.
LaRue Burley able to go 3-0 in the Bellator cage, including a big knockout over Bubba Jenkins. Huge matchup, big win for him in that one. And then Alex Sanchez, 7 of his wins have come by way of stoppage. He is a machine. He doesn't like to take it to the judges by any stretch.
No, sir. He just had a beautiful counter right hand there. LaRue Burley tried to throw a jab to the body and paid the price for that.
Who's going to advance in the tournament here? The welterweight tournament, also the lightweight tournament a little bit later. You're going to see a lot of that on our main card, and a nice little combination by Alex Sanchez. Answers back with a low kick and a side kick right there to the body.
Both guys still showing a lot of respect for each other. They're aware of the other's power.
You know, things got a little spicy at the weigh-ins, but for the most part, these guys, I think they kind of feel connected to each other, being a part of this relaunch of the XFC. And we've seen a lot of respect just in the hotel, in the bubble here in Atlanta. These guys kind of feel like they're all on the same team, but only one of these men can advance in the tournament.
Ultimately, no matter what you say before the fight, it comes down to the fight. So whether you're trying to sell tickets or not, always comes down to what you do in here.
Ooh, there we go, getting tied up there. As you can see, already traded shots, this thing getting ugly.
Burley had good head movement there, getting out of the way. And then Sanchez disappeared on him on that takedown attempt.
LaRue Burley really working on that outside leg kick. Staying very, very busy. The more aggressive fighter, but Sanchez has done a great job of answering. No true advantage here between these two as we make our way through round number 1. Last time LaRue Burley was in action, it was a W for the Cannibal. Lands a big shot. Alex Sanchez looking to answer, But Burley continues to walk him down here, Pat. You like the strategy?
Well, he's doing a good job being, you know, the leadoff fighter. He did get clipped with a pretty good right hand there and showed he's still got a great chin, because that was a hard right hand, but just going to keep that chin down a little bit more, just in case.
Talked about that win over Bubba Jenkins. That was part of a 6-fight run that he had to kick off his pro career. Then a little bit of up, a little bit of down. But he's looking to keep the momentum going here, looking for a takedown, taking the back.
LaRue has been working on his wrestling quite a bit. Calls himself a striker, but his wrestling has improved.
Can't really get away with not being well-rounded these days when it comes to mixed martial arts. You kind of have to have every facet of the game.
Yeah, 100%. If you want to be the best striker in MMA, well, you've got to be a very good wrestler to get it done and stop takedowns.
Now really laying heavy there on the back of Alex Sanchez is LaRue Burley, who has controlled the momentum of this fight. He throws the knee to the body, and Sanchez comes out swinging.
Burley ducking that big elbow. I felt the wind over here.
Cyrus Fees alongside Pat Miletich here as we are 3 fights in on our prelim card. Looking forward to our huge main card, 9 p.m. NBC Sports. We hope that you'll join us for that. Final moments here in round number 1. Who is going to make the big push here at the end of the round? I think the answer to that is LaRue Burley. Burley has really kept his foot on the gas since the opening bell, and I think has made a big impression on the brass here at the XFC. I think he takes round 1.
Yeah, showing really good head movement, and definitely, in my mind, scored more points. Let's take a look at some replays from that round. Both guys getting a little bit wild. Burley trying to get in on those legs, and Sanchez says, nope, I'm getting out of dodge on that. And big, big uppercut. And then he gets clipped with the counter right hand from Sanchez. So anytime you try to do damage to your opponent, you risk being damaged. So you got to really cover your bases defensively while you're in there. And here he is trying to get that takedown. Was not successful, though.
We go to the corner there of LaRue Burley. He was a very, very busy fighter there in round number 1. You could tell the adrenaline was most definitely on high. He's been excited to get inside of that hex. One of the more animated weigh-ins as well. At yesterday's weigh-ins, he is all fired up here and looking to take his place here in the XFC, get to the semifinals and see where he goes from there. Everybody with the eye on that XFC Welterweight Championship.
Ready. You know, if I'm Sanchez's coach, I'm saying, hey, we've got to attack that low lead leg more. It was very successful. He just barely used it. And you can end fights with that, literally just end them. Your opponent won't be able to walk. So I'd like to see him attack that more.
Trying to set up that right hand is LaRue Burley. Alex Sanchez now showing a little bit of urgency here, Pat. Coming out swinging.
Well, he probably got chewed out by his coach. To be honest with you, he was very inactive in my mind, fighting defensively the entire first round, for the most part anyway.
Burley and Sanchez. Nice jab there by LaRue Burley, trying to get things started once again. Can he keep that pace all the way through? It's a big question mark in this matchup. And you talk about that age difference, and look at that punch rush from Burley, but Sanchez with a beautiful counter. And that's what we talked about. Sanchez has great counters. He knows how to time them, and Burley better be careful.
Yeah, the left hand, that hook that Sanchez is throwing, the first one, you could tell Burley respected it because he ducked the second time. Good
Burley walking him down.
Good job feinting with that jab. Need more of that. Keep him guessing on when he's actually coming.
You can already tell, and here comes Sanchez now. Putting the foot on the gas pedal in his corner, and Sanchez now getting a little bit aggressive. He sees that he may have hurt LaRue Burley a little bit with these right hands. He's timing them well. Burley showing a lot more respect here for the game of Sanchez here just a few minutes into round 2.
Burley doing a good job landing those kicks on the lead leg now. But that double jab to that cross that we were talking about there from Sanchez, I mean, boxing fundamentals. It works. Use it.
We've just about a 7 or 8 year age difference here. That advantage going to Sanchez. The reach as well goes to the younger fighter, Alex Hulk Sanchez. Burley out there to confirm the age, nothing but a number.
I always feel that you...
I feel like you proved that. Didn't you box this summer? What?
Well, I kickboxed.
What are you
it was with my good friend Michael Nutt. We had a good time.
Sure did.
No, but I always felt in having all the years of coaching and watching athletes go through their career that, from my standpoint anyway, what I saw is from 28 to 36, an athlete is the strongest that they'll ever be and the best that they'll ever be. And so I kind of just called that the man strength years.
Okay.
That's when they come into there. So Burley's still in that band in my mind, right?
Certainly is. Striking while the iron is hot here is LaRue Burley.
Good job getting out of the way, Burley. Landing and moving.
A lot of great feints, you said it. Trying to hit those angles is LaRue Burley.
You know, and I'm trying to be quiet. During this COVID thing, when you don't have a lot of crowd to cover your voice, you know, I try to be quiet so I'm not giving instructions to anybody. So I feel like I'm calling a golf event sometimes. I apologize to the fans, but just trying to be quiet.
I think you do great on a golf broadcast.
I used to love golf. Golf was my favorite sport, actually.
And little factoids all night long. We'll be here all night. They're digging in deep. Heavy is LaRue Burley. And how much damage is he really doing here as Sanchez looking to get out? And all it is another minute of control here for LaRue Burley as he continues to put together some good rounds on the scorecard.
Exactly. It's like football. You're controlling the ball. The clock is burning. It's ticking. You're winning the round. Very important, you know, that you, in those periods, that you are the one controlling. There's that low leg attack.
Exactly, straight into the right hand, and very unorthodox.
Did you see Burley move his leg to the back there? So that tells me it's starting to hurt a little bit. Sanchez, throw a few punches, set that up, go back to that. Keep attacking that same point.
Some unorthodox setups here from LaRue Burley. 30 seconds left. Kind of springs off of those feet and jumps forward there for a number of shots there. Big punch rushes for LaRue Burley. And Alex Sanchez is willing to weather that storm and just land those big thunder shots. Sanchez there dives for a takedown here as he heard that 10-second mark and maybe looking to score a little bit because, you know, I mean, if I'm sitting here judging this fight, and I will not say that I am, you know, capable of that, but I will say this, I think Burley's ahead. I think it's 2-0.
Yeah, no, I think you're correct. And I think you are qualified to judge. You've seen enough fights, been around for a long time. So let's take a look at some action. There's Burley getting very aggressive, using that balk right hand several times. Many people call it a Superman punch. And here's Sanchez coming forward, being aggressive. And Burley with the head movement. That's the key. The fighters that have good head movement. What's that? Go ahead.
No, it seems like Sanchez he was aggressive there for a couple of minutes, then he kind of fell back into his old ways.
Yeah, and you know, hey, I think the head movement of Burley had a lot to do with that. If you're throwing 10 punches and landing one, it can be a little frustrating and tiring.
And breathing very deep there is Alex Sanchez. And you come into this fight, you see the reach, you see the numbers, you're gonna edge it over to a guy like Alex Sanchez, but LaRue Burley is bucking all that and has looked good. We have him, both of us have him up 2-0 here. We go into our third and final round, which means you almost got to throw caution to the wind here, Pat, and I want to see a lot of aggression here out of Alex Sanchez.
I'd like to see real-time scoring with every athletic commission so that the corners and athletes know who's ahead. I mean, combat sports are one of the few sports, in my mind at least, you know, you look at the scoreboard in football, basketball, you know who's winning. You know, there's a reason that the Patriots would always come back, you know, and everything was so dramatic. It made it so it would be nice to see that in my mind.
Well, I will say this, as a ring announcer, that's going to kill all the drama when I'm doing a decision.
No, it just gives me more reasons to argue with you because we disagree on who's winning. When the judges call it wrong, potentially, right?
And that would just be 2 or 3 days straight here.
That's just good that's good TV, buddy. Come
It
on.
sure is. It sure is. Sanchez and Burley there, and here goes Burley with that same fire. He is not taking. Gosh, I feel like we're talking about a race. You talked about too much pedal to the metal here, but Burley has not really slowed up. He continues to push the pace here. Now into the third round, we've gone, 11 straight minutes, and this guy just continues to come forward.
See how he's moving his head, and Sanchez hitting air again. I'm telling you. And then he gets countered and gets clipped. That can make a person gun shy. It really can.
Sanchez really unable to get that reach involved. He's been really unable to land that jab to set anything up.
Right.
He's so focused on the counter that he's not using that humongous reach advantage that he has, and it's pretty formidable.
And Burley's using enough offense that Sanchez can never really set his speed hardly. You know what I mean? And that's pretty important to do that.
Kind of seems like the same pace that Burley had from round number 1, he's carrying into round number 3. And because of the way that he fights, the way that he strikes, he's really hard to time.
Yeah. Well, he's fought a lot of very, very high-level opponents. And in this sport, more than anything, I think, one of the biggest definers of a fighter's toughness and how good they are and how experienced they are is the quality of opponents that they've gone against. Their game gets much tighter because of that. Sanchez trying to land those counters there.
And he could really have something here. We're only halfway through round number 3, still 2.5 minutes left, and Sanchez has the power to knock you on your back. And that's what he's counting on here as we have him down a couple of rounds. Ooh, look at that combination there by Burley. That time going low and using the body.
And again, the one thing that he lands 100% of the time is what? The low kick to that low leg, below the knee, to the, you've got the fibula, the small bone that runs along the tibia, and it's not that hard to break that bone. And that muscle on the outside of the leg there is so sensitive. I can't even explain to you how bad it is to get kicked there hard. It's horrible. So he really should be setting it up with his hands and attacking that more often. Burley might not be walking right now. He's done a lot more of it.
Welterweight tournament here in full swing. It's a quarterfinal matchup between LaRue Burley in the red, Alex Sanchez in the black. Who is going to take that step here and get closer? We've already seen Ryan Dixon, the Canadian, make his move in the tournament. And here comes Burley that time. Lands the big right hand.
Beautiful combo. And notice no head movement out of Sanchez. Easy to hit what doesn't move, right? Stationary target.
Big swings and misses there by Alex Sanchez, who may be showing a little bit of desperation here.
When Sanchez going high with a head kick after all those low kicks. Burley started reaching to try and grab that leg. Got to be very careful lowering your hand on those kicks.
Ooh, and there it is, that left hand. Lightning quick left hook, set that one up, and Alex Sanchez still trying to stay in here. We are officially at the 1 minute mark. Sanchez dives in for the takedown, well timed. But where is he going to go from here? He has to really work hard.
He's in the guillotine.
Got the arm in. It's going to be tough to finish it.
How tight is it? He's cranking on it, buddy. Yeah, he got
There it is. LaRue Burley
Okay, I know.
getting the win, moving on to the tournament. What a moment for Burley, the Cannibal.
Great performance. Great performance out of him. Really controlled the pace, striking.
And finishes an arm-in guillotine. Hey,
Yeah.
what's that show you? I mean, just really in the right place, right time.
And you know what? You got to give him credit, because when his career started, the first few times I saw him, his ground was not very good. It really was not. And he showed how much he's been working. And there's his head movement again.
He really just wore Sanchez out over 3 rounds.
And here's the finish. Look at him locking it up right away. Getting that in place. Nice job securing the guard position. Very important, locking the legs.
It still didn't even look like it was fully
he was
underneath
cranking.
there, but he really put a lot of power into it.
Yeah, and he's leaning left on it, pinching down with that arm. Here it is again. So he does not have guard yet. Throws that punch. He knows he's got to get that leg out of there. And there it is. Locks it up.
And like you said, cranking it and leaning to the left, that really made the difference for LaRue Burley, who is able to tap out his opponent here at XFC 43. One more time, one more angle. And look at the face out there. Blake Chadwick, you can see it. He knows it's tight as well.
Yeah.
Let's send it up to Blake.
At 4 minutes, 21 seconds of round number 3, your winner via guillotine choke in the blue corner, LaRue, Cannibal, Burley.
Impressive work there by LaRue. Burley, who now moves to 10-4, and more important here. One more time here with the replays.
Beautiful job again by LaRue. Look at him get that right leg out of there. He knows he's got to get it out. Giving it everything right there.
One thing we have seen is that these guys are on another level when it comes to finishing the fight. They do not want to let this thing go to decision. It has been all finishes thus far here at XFC 43 in Hotlanta. So there's your